Alright, let me catch this, somebody car alarm going off. The ghetto. Let me tell y'all about this episode of American Horror Story Apocalypse right quick before I go in here and speak to my grandparents. It's the end of the world. And it had me shook. Now, I watched this at about 2 o'clock in the morning. Because I watched Greenleaf. It comes on at the same time as Greenleaf. So I watched Greenleaf because I had been hankering for Greenleaf all week. I just was like, girl, when is Wednesday? Is it Wednesday? So I watched Greenleaf first. And then I went on and did a couple other things. Painted a couple things or whatever. And then I went back and watched Apocalypse. But the point is, I watched it in the dead of night. And that was not a good idea. Phew, excuse me. That was not a good idea because I'm scary. But, stomach growling. It's the end of the world. And that in and of itself is alarming because it's not, I thought it was just going to be like apocalypse as in, well, here come the Lord, coming to get us. It's over. Just the world, global warming and storms and floods and stuff that you read in the Bible that I've been hearing about all my life and I've been scared of all my life. I thought it was going to be just something like that. But no, this is, when I sneeze, every time I sneeze, like, I get stuffed up. Like, girl, I sneeze. This should be released. But no. Anyway, this form of apocalypse is nuclear bombs, nuclear missiles. So we in the hair salon, we see Evan Peters playing a homosexual, which I was about to be mean. I was about to say that's not off-brand for him. But I'm not that girl anymore. I'm not that girl. I won't say things. I'll tell you what I was about to say, but I won't actually say it. That's the kind of heifer I am. But he's playing this homosexual with this blonde, this platinum hair, and he's doing this wealthy, she reminds me of Tori Spelling, and I'm not sure why, but I'm going to be calling her Tori Spelling. So he's doing Tori Spelling's hair. It's not actually Tori Spelling, but I'm calling her Tori Spelling. Doing her hair, and, she gets an alert on her phone, whoop, 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 and it says, nuclear missile threat, do-do-do-do-do. My mind immediately went to, and they even mentioned Hawaii last year. They got the nuclear threat alert in Hawaii last year. And they said, the Tori Spelling was like, it's a hoax, girl. It ain't even, her name is Coco. I'll call her Coco, because that's going to get confusing, me calling her Tori Spelling. Coco was like, it's a hoax. It's just like, last year in Hawaii. And I was like, if I were watching this in Hawaii, I would be even more alarmed. But then she gets a FaceTime from her daddy, Aaron Spelling. And he's like, this is real. It's real life. There are bombs coming. This the end of the world. We've arranged for our family to be safe, but we're not going to make it. So there's a car coming to get you. It's going to take you to the airport. You going to live, have a good life. Know we love you. Her mom and brother pop into the screen and they look at each other for a second, then it's over. Like, I guess they did. My phone's overheating. Let me take it out the case, because I don't feel like... Okay. I took the phone out the case, so hopefully it won't overheat any further. But I turned the air back on for a few ticks, just a few. Anyway, so where was I? Yeah, so they I guess the Aaron Spelling and them have blown up. So they hop into a car. Coco and her assistant hop into a car and... They hop in a car. They're on their way to an airport, to a plane. Some kind of way, I guess she told the hairdresser to come with them since her parents are dead. Like, there's extra room in the inn, so come on. So, hairdresser goes and gets his grandmother. And listen, legend. My soul screamed, and I actually had to stop myself from yelling because when I get excited, which is rare, but when I see legends, I usually just scream their name. But I had to stop myself because it was like 2 o'clock in the morning. And for some reason, everybody was asleep. Usually folks be up and moving in my house around 2. But everybody was asleep, so I had to stop myself from going, Joan Collins! But I did it in my spirit. I said, Joan Collins. And not only was she being legendary just by being Joan Collins, she was being legendary by being Alexis Colby Carrington. Like, she literally was sitting there drinking champagne, and she turned to her maid and was like, the champagne's burned. You left it in the freezer too long. Like, and it was just like, why wasn't Diane Carroll here too? Can you imagine? Like, it was already enough to have Alexis Carrington here before us. And honestly, I'm pretty sure the only people that know what I'm talking about are either old or gay. But talking about the burning champagne, could you imagine having Diane Carroll, not as the maid girl, because she stopped doing that in like the 40s, but just have her be like the best friend, just be like, girl, yeah, this champagne is pretty burned. Like, can you imagine how legendary? I'm sure they tried to get Diane Carroll, but she's, you know, she's not really doing too much these days. But that would have been crazy. That would have been crazy. But then I would have been sad because they wouldn't have had her probably on the rest of the season, and I would have known that, you know, Dominique Devereaux blew up in the nuclear bombs. But, you know, hairdresser comes in. I'm sorry, I live. Hairdresser comes in and is like, come on, grandma, we got to go. I guess his parents, he don't care nothing about his parents, but he loves his grandmama. So they get, you know, he's telling her, you know, nuclear war, we about to die. She's like, yeah, global warming and all that too. Girl, I've been on this earth for a long time. We have had so many threats. But he's like, no, this is real. This is for real. She's like, girl, sit down and have some burnt champagne with me. He's like, come on. So he snatches her up. And they go to the plane. Now, Coco had a boyfriend. The boyfriend wasn't able to make it. He was stuck in traffic. He was trying to get there, but they couldn't make it because it was like The Walking Dead, which I've never seen, but I understand the premise. They had this plane getting ready to go, explosion to freedom. Nicki Minaj. And these people were just walking up trying to like commandeer this plane. And it's like, you don't know where the plane going. You don't know where the plane is going. So it's just like the plane may be about to be, you know, head-on course collision with the missile. Why are y'all trying to commandeer these people plane? You don't know where the plane going. So now the pilot is out here shooting the folks in the head and killing them and telling the folks, get on the plane, go, get on. They get on the plane and I'm sitting here like, y'all on the plane without the pilot, where's y'all gonna go? In the meantime, Coco calls her boyfriend and is like, look, I'm breaking up with you. No shade. I just can't wait for you. You gotta die. Honestly, I wouldn't have even told him that. I'd have just, because look, it would have just got to the airplane and I'd have been gone. And it'd been like, I'ma miss you. I miss you, old friend. But I'm not gonna be able to wait. But anyway, she gets on the plane and I'm like, but the pilot is out there dying. Like, because the people started beating on the pilot, so he's murdered. But the plane goes up and I'm like, okay, so maybe that wasn't a pilot. They sitting on the plane and, you know, Coco says, well, where's this plane going? Don't nobody know. So the Coco's assistant gets up to ask the pilot. Ain't no pilot. So now they just, ain't no pilot. I can't believe. What in the world? And Joan Collins is just like, well, I guess I ain't gonna order a drink. Rude. Ain't no pilot. Rude. But then, you know, just as they realize ain't no pilot, then they start experiencing turbulence and whoop, 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 whoop. And the plane is jiggling, honey, in the air. And they look out the window and you see Los Angeles go up in just a bomb, a mushroom cloud of smoke and fire. And Coco shook. She shook. She's got a tear falling from my eye. Just one tear, one eye. And I'm like, there's absolutely nothing. If there were an alert that popped up on my phone right now, God forbid, that said, you about to die, the answer would simply be, can I get my mama to safety? If I can't get my mama to safety, what I'm gonna live for? I would be bawling if I knew everybody I loved was dead. But she had the one tear, just the one. I don't know, maybe that's how white people cry. White people, I know you're watching, let me know. Is that how y'all feel about certain instances? It's just the one tear? Anyway, in the meantime, there's a news report. You see the same black man that does the news report on everything. He's doing a news report and he's talking about the threat and Hawaii is gone and this place is gone, this place is gone, everybody blowing up. And he said something that was really strange to me. He said, I can't believe we actually did it. He's like, ladies and gentlemen, I can't believe we actually did it. They're alerting us that we need to evacuate. I'm not gonna make it home. Tell my kids I love them. And then it like cuts out. What is I can't believe we actually did it? Who did it? Who did it? And they said it twice because they played that clip twice. Because they went back 40 something minutes, I think, before the explosion. And they, you know, there was a boy and his brother and his mom. They were excited because the boy had gotten into college or whatever. The daddy was saying, and he's like, what y'all happy for, niggas? We about to die. So he clicks on the TV and they play the report of the news reporter saying, I can't believe we actually did it, ladies and gentlemen. And if my kids are watching, I love you. And I'm like, what did we do? Who did it? was weird. But anyway, men in Black Honey bust in and they're like, we need, I think the boy's name is Timothy. We need Timothy, basic B's to the back. The rest of y'all got to die, but we taking Timothy. And the daddy was like, all right, well, hug us. Tell us you love us. Bye. And the mama's like, well, can you take both of the boys? They're, you know, they're twins. And it's like, they're not genetic. I mean, they're not identical, so their genes aren't the exact same. And it was just so strange to me. It was strange. They got the boy's DNA because he sent it off to one of those sites, which I fully believe is going to happen one of these old days. And they're taking the boy. He don't want to leave his family, obviously. He would rather just die with his people, which is same. Very same. But he, you know, the brothers hug, and it's like, no, I don't want to leave. And they carrying him off, and I'm like, y'all could have just, they could have fought them a little harder. But I guess in the parents' perspective, at least one of their children would live. But it just, it was hurting my heart. It broke my heart, and it breaks my heart. And it breaks my heart to see you happy without me. Chloe and Halle. And he was just a prime candidate to survive. It was weird. It was so weird. It was like, but wouldn't you want to keep the people that made the prime candidate? Wouldn't you want to take the mom and daddy and have them make other babies maybe that could be prime candidates as well? It was weird. It was like, why you ain't rationalizing? I'd have been trying to figure out how we can, I feel like it's something, like a piece of skin or something moving. Anyway, I would have been rationalizing. Can we find a way to keep my family alive? We have the same genes. My genes came from theirs. So anyway. So then, you know, we're in this holding cell of some sort, and Timothy meets Emily. I'm calling him Timothy. I'm not 100% sure that's his name, but he meets Emily. She was in jail for, I don't remember what she said she was in jail for, but she was in jail. And, you know, they're having a conversation about how they ended up here and how they have genetic goodies that the people want. And then you hear the explosion and the building kind of shakes, but it don't fall apart. And it's like, this building looked like it could fall apart. But maybe the outside was stronger than the inside, because the inside didn't look strong at all. It was just fence. Regular fence and regular brick, like, and little fluorescent lighting at the top. It kind of looked like half jail, half elementary school. It's weird. But stacked on top, anywho. So, they, anyway, sorry. I'm going through some things. They carry them to this location. They all shrouded in hazmat suits or whatever. They get sprayed with, I guess, some sort of decontaminant. And then they go into this former boys' school. And you see this woman walk up. She's got a walking stick and a candle. And she steps into the light. And it's Sarah Paulson. And I stand. I love Sarah Paulson, like, with my whole heart. With the entirety of my heart. Here come my mama. Hey. You're not through? I'm doing another video. Alright. I thought I had like 3. Alright. I turned the car off for a minute, but my phone overheated. You let a bug in. Okay. But, it's cooler out here. You might want to crack. Much cooler. I don't do crack. Well, crack I done made too much money to ever smoke crack. Alright. Well. Why you ain't let that window down? I didn't mean to. Let it back up. Or whatever you got to do. You're on my nerves. I'm still talking to my grandmother. Okay, well, I was finna come in when I finish this. Alright. Hi, everyone. And she just flounces right on back in the house. Anyway, I stand for Sarah Paulson, so, and I know she's supposed to be playing like 3 different characters this season, so my soul is ready. Big ready. Anyway, so they're at Outpost 3, which, freaking bug. They're at Outpost 3, and they talking about the cooperatives and the visionary and the natural order, and Emily and Timothy are purples, and purples are the elites, and there are grays that are the workers, and they're happy to do it because they ain't dead. And it sounded like slavery to me, but I guess. And she gives them rules. The rules are simple, you know, no going outside, no unauthorized copulation. It's a hard word to say, copulation. And, you know, we dress for dinner, we going to dinner at 6, and all of this carrying on. And apparently the people who they saw coming in, because I forgot to mention as they were coming in, they saw some folks get shot in the head, like shot and killed. And I'm like, why didn't they take them outside to shoot them? Or maybe they found them outside. It was weird. They were outside getting shot and killed. And I'm like, what kind of... Ugh, freaking bugs. I got to go in the house in a second. But anyway, so he takes a shower. Timothy takes a shower. He's getting ready to get dressed for dinner. He looks in the mirror, and in the steam is written 3 6s. And I'm like, Lord, Kelly Price been here. And then you hear a voice saying, beware. And I'm like, but the outfits were kind of cute. You know, Emily looked cute. She looked cute. You know, it's very like Handmaid's Tale, which I've never watched, but I assume. Just very period piece. They don't have electricity really, and everybody's dressed a certain way and it's just kind of, I don't know, but they let black people be in the house this time, so yay. This freaking, I'm gonna turn this light off for a moment and hopefully the bug will go away. Anyway, I'm sorry, y'all. But, so they get down to dinner, honey, and dinner is a gelatinous cube of vitamins. I'm like, no thanks. No, thank you. But Coco, she mad because she tired of eating the cube. She stands up and she's upset. You know, she snaps. And Sarah Paulson slaps. She slapped her smooth across her face. And I'm like, oh no. And then we see homosexual Kathy Bates. Because this character is a lesbian, okay? She comes in and she's giving, you know, lesbian tease. She's just standing off in the distance, being gay. And then you hear that something has penetrated the grounds and somebody is contaminated, but the whole world is gone. And it was just like a conversation. And they get the little radiation wands and they checking folks, and they run it across the 2 white gays. They both are contaminated. And I'm like, I'm thinking, Lord, is they done went outside and slept together, or just went outside? I'm really thinking, but I'll get to the point where I think they slept together in a second. But so they go to the decontamination room and they scrubbing the people, just trying to get the dirt off or whatever. And I'm just like, this is terrible, because it looked like it hurt. It looked like the water was hot and it looked like it hurt, but they were scrubbing and scrubbing. And then they go in for another check. Evan Peters, you know, platinum blonde homosexual, he comes out clean, but the other one comes out dirty. And I'm like, how? And they shoot him in the head. Come to find out, honey, they just made all of that up. They made every bit of that up. Sarah Paulson and Kathy Bates, they look like they may be in a lesbian love affair. But they just making their own rules, setting up foolishness and doing the most. So, oof, girl, sorry. I got a bobby pin sticking me in the back of my head. Sarah is like, she's happy to be doing this. Kathy is more like, should we be doing this? And that was, I don't know. I don't know if I'm gonna like Sarah Paulson's character, but right now I'm just, because she's like going against the cooperative, but she's trying to enforce the rules to the people, like telling them the cooperative wants this, but then talking to Kathy Bates like, forget the cooperative. And I'm like, what is going on here? So then they present the people with stew. And come to find, you know, we find a little finger bone in the stew. And they say, the stew is stew. Joan Collins didn't care, honey. She was eating it up. She was enjoying. And the thing is, it didn't look like an average size. It didn't look like a grown man's finger. It looked like a baby's pinky. So I'm like, maybe they killing babies. But as far as killing stew and cooking them up and putting them in the food, I'm not sure that was stew. Anyway, the song, because there's a song that's playing constantly. It's just playing over and over and over. After Stu gets killed, the song changes and they take it as a message. You know, they're coming to save us. Do. But 18 months later, that same song is still playing. And I'm like, I don't know if I like how we've just jumped ahead, because we jumped 2 weeks to get to where we were when Stu was killed. Then we jumped 18 months, you know, prior to that. And what's strange to me is that does Evan Peters' character have access to bleach, or are we supposed to believe he's just naturally platinum? Because his hair didn't grow out at all. Nobody's hair has grown out. Coco's hair has puffed up. She just, I guess, stopped caring about her hair. But everybody got the same haircut they had 18 months ago. It's just like, what is... They got a stylist in there? I mean, I know there's a stylist there, but do they have the products? Anyway, girl. But Timothy and Emily look like they falling in love, honey. They kissing and carrying on. They're not doing any unauthorized copulation. But they kissing and could it be I'm falling in love with you, baby? Like they look like they falling. And I kind of ship it. I think it's cute. I hope they don't die. Because they're a cute little couple. Emily reminds me of Antonia Thomas, who plays Claire on The Good Doctor. And she was on Skins back in the day. She's been on a couple things. But she reminds me of her. And I like Antonia, so I think I like this Emily lady. They're cutting food back to 1 meal a day, 1 cube a day, instead of three square cubes. And then all of a sudden there's an alarm going off. There's been a breach on the property. And I'm like, how? Everything and everybody is dead. Everybody dead. Hey, y'all got a breach. But it's Mr. Langdon. And he comes in with this laid hair. I'm like, who doing your hair? Is that Tresemme? Or is it Pantene? It was giving me more of a Pantene sheen. But he comes in and has Kathy Bates shoot his horses. It was weird. I'm like, what is carrying on? And he tells Sarah Paulson, because I can't remember her character's name. It was like Winifred Doodlebody or something. I don't know. Tells her that we are picking the best of the best to survive. And I'm like, they already survived. You picking survivors to survive? Far too much. But he said he's gonna pick a couple of them because, you know, Outpost 3 apparently is the most thriving outpost that they have. And he gonna take them on somewhere else. And then it went off. And that was it. And I'm like, I want more. So I will be back next week for the next episode because this is good. It's delicious. Way better than Freak Show. Because I watched 1 episode of Freak Show and I was like, well, I think I watched 2. And I was like, no, thank you. But now I think I got to catch up because this season is supposed to tie all the seasons together. So I probably do need to go back. I didn't watch Freak Show and I didn't watch, sorry, the card cut off. I didn't watch Freak Show and I didn't watch Roanoke. So I may have to go back and catch those. But anyway, I've enjoyed it. I hope y'all are watching. I hope y'all love it like I do. Joan Collins is going to be a hoot. And I'll catch y'all in the next one. Peace.